All right, you guys, are you ready? Because we have a new Sims 4 expansion pack to talk about. And this one is a little chilly. Look at the little sled! Okay, I have a lot of thoughts. Oh, look at that. Okay, so there is a nice warm neighborhood. That's really weird to see like the juxtaposition of the warm neighborhood and the sun. Oh, new cultural interactions. I have a lot of thoughts about this, so hang in there because we're going to be talking quite a bit about it, but let's just go ahead and take note of a lot of, I've never done any snow sports. I love the look of that rock climbing though. We've been needing a redone like rock climbing wall that's not whatever we currently have from that sports pack. Ooh, I really like that lamp. I didn't notice that lamp before because full disclosure, I've gone through this once or twice just to make sure that it was worth digging into. I happen to enjoy that giant centipede. I really always love it when they do these kind of like Simstagram things. I wish that your Sims could do that and like your Sims friends would send pictures. How cool would it be if you had Simstagram that you could pull up pictures from the other Sims houses and kind of see what they were up to? That would be really amazing. Also, the onigiri looked fantastic. I love that little rabbit hat the kids are wearing. Ooh, you can fall off there? Ooh, okay. We're gonna need to think about that. But alright, so welcome back to us going through the brand new Sims 4 Snowy Escape reveal trailer. And this is actually coming out a couple weeks before they're going to release the expansion pack, because this is supposed to be big enough to be an actual expansion pack, not like a outdoor retreat and not like Salvadorada, where we were able to have our archaeology and our jungle adventure. It's kind of mixing together what seems to be a new world and a whole bunch of new activities with a place that your Sims can actually live. And I have done quite a bit of digging and poking and examining of what little details are already available to the public so that I could come and have a good conversation with you guys, where we can sit down and we can kind of scratch our heads over the last few game packs that may or may not have come out for The Sims that I may or may not acknowledge. And we could kind of wonder, so is this going to be something that adds a lot to our world? Is this going to be something that makes it so that the Sims really have more depth, so we'll be able to do more adventuring with them? I'm really noting all of the business suits that were just around in the background. And I'm gonna just say this up front. I want to be really excited. I want to be really hyped because I have been a Sims fan for a very long time. And for me, every expansion pack is a way to celebrate more stories that I could tell. To me, the most important thing that I get out of The Sims is being able to enjoy a sense of my Sims family stories growing, the legacies. You guys know that. I am a long-term generational legacy player. I am a build a city sort of challenge person who likes to build worlds that feel alive with a lot of people who are related to one another, either literally or through being friends or being co-workers. I like to kind of have that feeling that my Sims lives impact their world and their world impacts their lives. So I kind of have been eyeing the last few packs looking for things that would make my Sims feel more alive, make the world feel like it really affected them, that it gave them challenges, that it gave them triumphs. And this kind of looks very challenging too. So what I'm trying to say is I am not going to cheer on every single pack that comes up just because it's The Sims and just because it exists. I look for things to be really excited about, but I also am willing to say I don't really know if this is going to add to my style of gameplay, which is legacy storytelling, world building style of gameplay, where the goal isn't to make the best sim. I'm not looking for super sims. I'm not looking for a sim that is going to have everything be perfect and happy in their life. I'm looking for that story, that depth. Come on, you guys know what I mean. When you have a character, you don't want that character to be super happy all the time, and you want low rolls when you're playing like a role-playing game. You want to be, like if you were playing D&D for instance, sometimes you don't want to roll a 20, which is the best that you can get every time. You want to fail. You want your character to have to feel what it feels like to land flat on their face, to be affected by that, to have that carry on and shape who they are? Will they become super depressed and be a sim living in their house, eating nothing but cold pizza day after day? Or will they rise to the challenge and change the world around them as they seek to change themselves? That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to make a young adult sim be super duper happy and just have endless amazing adventures until they like turn into an elder and rock into a rocking chair into the sunset. I want vibrancy. I want legacy. That's what a legacy story is all about to me. The legacy is not only the fact my Sims popped out in air and got married and did something fun and built a nice house. The legacy challenge to me represents the way that a Sim can impact the world around them and leave those impacts for the next generations and for other families to be able to be affected by, good or bad. But we'll talk a lot more about my style of gameplay later. I just wanted to put that out because even though there's these really pretty new build items that we're looking at right now, even though there are some cool winter sports, that's not entirely my kind of gameplay. My kind of gameplay is going, okay, how is all of this affecting that little family that we see sitting down at a kotatsu of all things, eating some really delicious looking new food. I am a bit of a Simlish foodie, so I love seeing all of that food. And I just mentioned all of that even though it's a ramble because I don't see a lot of other legacy, like in-depth world building players that are really out there to talk about like, okay, but how is this gonna let me literally play with life, as it says on the box right there. Like, if I want to play with life, for me, that's not the building. For me, that's not like the winter sports. That's really getting a chance to play with my Sims' lives. And that is where we bump into something very unusual and interesting with Snowy Escape. Yeah, this is what actually has me the most excited about Snowy Escape, my friends. Not only do we have a nice world, it's nice, I really enjoy it, I think it's pretty, but it isn't really hooking me. I've never done winter sports, though I have friends who are super into them. I think it would be fun for my Sims to be able to go and do these things. However, I want my Sims' lives to be impacted. I want to really feel like there is a personality that my Sim has and the world has a personality, and those two things will affect each other. So let's go through and look at this a little bit slower again, and then I will show you the big reveal for why I'm actually hopeful for Snowy Escape. With the disclaimer that the world looks beautiful, the objects look really nice for people who like to do build and buy objects. I will say I have seen a lot of these things presented by fantastic modders, because there are wonderful modding communities out there who have really brought a lot of Japanese, Chinese, let's see, I've seen a few other cultures, Korean, a lot of other cultures build by objects have been presented in the modding community wonderfully, and I want to give a big hats off to the people who have done that work, because it was a lot of work, and that's really wonderful that they were able to present aspects of their own cultures and share it with the world. However, it is nice to have some official backing as well for these items. I do see a lot of really lovely building items. I'm not a builder, but I definitely appreciate the work that builders do that I'm going to enjoy. I see a lot of world items that I think I'm going to enjoy. As far as plants go, I can't really tell if that tree to the right of this little house is new, but you can bet that I am on the hunt for new plants. I think that I see a big cherry blossom tree in the background, but I don't think so. I think the tree, there's a couple new trees I've seen, and I think this is cool. How it's going to be presented with going up onto a mountain and climbing in the winter. I'm really big into outdoor sort of sports things, even though I haven't done enough of them in my real life. So I'm kind of interested in that. This little idea of having a bunch of business people who meet after hours to go out to dinner and drink is definitely a cultural, I would say like a cultural cliche, but not in a bad way, or it could be in a bad way. That might be a lot of fun to see, but what that makes me think is like, oh, I really want my Sims to be able to have more to do with their coworkers. I don't think my Sims have ever had their coworkers ring them up and be like, if you were in the business track, how cool would it be for your sim to be rung up and be like, hey, we have a convention in San Myshuno and we have to go into the big city, and like you would have a temporary little hotel lot or something that your sim would go to, or a convention that your sim would go to, and you had to fulfill like these business challenges to be a good business person and get noticed by your boss. Or how cool would it be if you were like a teacher and you had to go to some sort of parent student meeting at another sim's house to talk about the kid? Or how cool would it be if you were like a doctor and you needed to go to the university to attend a lecture as part of your job? Those kinds of things would be so much fun and add so much more depth to the careers that the Sims have. And so this after hours thing of hanging out with your coworkers is awesome, but I really want there to be a hook where your coworkers expect that of you, and if you don't go, you lose relationship points with them. I want there to be hooks and consequences for my Sims. And if we're gonna have cool things where you can hang out with your coworkers at a bar and eat a ton of spicy ramen, then I want there to be a consequence if you turn them down. Like work performance suffers, maybe your sim has enough points to be able to get that new promotion, and then you get a pop-up from the boss that's like, well, we wanted to promote you, but you know, you just don't come to the company functions, and we feel like you're not really part of the family lately. We'd like to see you put in more effort to be part of the business family, because that's what happens in real life. Also, I just realized that this woman over at the counter is sitting on a very high chair. It kind of looks like she's sitting on a counter. But I like the look of this place. I think it's going to be so much fun to see if people are going to kind of create like little ramen shops. I would be all about that. I see a lot of people hoping that this is going to be a functional train. I don't think it is. It looks like a rabbit hole to me, so I'm not getting too excited about that. I'd be happy to be pleasantly surprised. Like the clothes that they're wearing for sure. They definitely don't look like adult clothes. They look like young adult clothes, left, right, and center. I like the little booties on the kid. I like that there are some new hairs that peek through here and there. Looks like there is a new school uniform in the background back there. The kid seems happy, and children and toddlers can go sledding with the adults. That is what I have seen. So children and toddlers can go sledding with adults. And kids can ski on small bunny slopes. And then teens, young adults, adults and elders. And I honestly, I would love it if your sim could, like, I know this sounds bad, but again, hooks and consequences. You could get hurt, and they actually mentioned that you can get injuries from doing these things. I would find it really fascinating if those injuries took away fitness points, or if, like, even to make them go into the negative if you have no fitness, and then maybe you would have to go to the doctor and train back up on your fitness skills. I know that's not going to happen, but this is examples of the kind of gameplay that I'm really, like, hungry for. Or how cool would it be if, like, you could take pictures here, for instance, climb up here and take a picture, and it has like this big mood boost like it used to in The Sims 3 because of where it was taken. This is really cool. I do love the little snowy area and climbing up here. It's based off Hokkaido from all the information that I've seen. There is a new tent. I am definitely sensitive to any really cool outdoor things. There's a lot of people hoping that there might be a Yeti or something involved. This is supposed to be an expansion pack, so what do you guys think about that? Like, look at this. This is so cool, being at the top of this mountain and being able to look around. What benefits does that give my sim? Did they have like some sort of lifetime memory they're going to be able to recall and reflect on from standing on top of this gigantic mountain, surrounded by this beautiful view? When we do these things in real life, they impact us, and they leave significant shifts into how we can perceive ourselves in the world when you manage to accomplish something as big as climbing a mountain. I've climbed like one tiny mountain and I remember that day to this day, a year and a half later, very, very, very clearly. I want that for my Sims. I don't want it to just be like an 18-hour mood boost. I wish there could be like long memories that affected their personality that came back later. Like maybe you're working out and your Sim's really tired, but then they remember climbing the mountain when they were a young adult and they get an extra boost of energy. Those kinds of things would be really fun. And now I've turned this into more of a speculation and ramble thing instead of just a reaction. But I think I'm trying to explain my complicated relationship with my Sims and what I want out of the world, and how much I am starting to do in the background, creating huge lists of ways to modify my Sims' lives and modify their world to try to make it really fun for myself. We've got a nice hot springs. That's nice. I will say what I am disappointed about is that there are no red rumped little Himalayan monkeys. Yeah, macaws. We could have had some macaques even. Huh, I was getting there eventually. Macaws, Siri? That is like a bird. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just a little excited. I do see a new plant. I found it. There is a new plant actually sitting on that end table, and I like the new chairs. There's a new fireplace. Very cute. I like the cat that's on everything. That's a very safe way to add new build buy objects. Put a cat on it, and then everybody will be okay with it. And then we have got a very lovely little bridge. I love the bamboo. I'm a big sucker for bamboo. But I don't think there's a lot of new plants that I have seen yet. Apparently, one of the things your Sims can do are go on hiking trails around town, which reminds me a lot of the way that you used to do that in Bon Voyage in The Sims 2. You could go and visit different areas. You can visit the little graves. Oh, look, you can go ahead and write your little wishes down or your name. You can visit the big pagoda. I think that this mascot is actually non-ironically one of my favorite things, and I didn't expect that. But I actually love this mascot, and it makes me want to have a mascot for each of the different zones. How kind of cute would it be if you had a mascot and like a little mini challenge to take pictures with all of the mascots for each one of the different places, the worlds that you could go to. It could be like a bat or something for the haunted glade where the vampires hang out. It could be like one of the wizards. Maybe I'll just make that a custom challenge. Like there's a mascot for each place, and maybe some of my more outgoing cutesy Sims would want to take a picture with each of those mascots, because I non-ironically like this mascot. It's cute. There's hiking, skiing, sledding trails. There's this mysterious thing, which I don't know what it is, but it's really cute, and I have a feeling that it has something to do with finding your Zen, which we do have a yoga pack already, so I'm curious how that might relate with itself. Yeah, I'm really curious about what that does. I'm hoping it makes a bunch of cherry blossoms just endlessly swirl in the background when you're hanging out with it, because that would be fun. Yeah, again, not really seeing many new plants. There's a couple, but they look so similar to the ones we already have that I'm really like staring very closely and carefully. And I think this was a missed opportunity to have a rock garden that your Sims could like rake and slowly but surely build up like their wellness skills. Because rock gardens are really cool. They rock. Do you like that? And I like what we have here with the little platforms. So there's actually little platforms that you can put items on and your Sims will walk onto. There's a lot of really cute little objects that I see. Mittens, we've got gloves. The new fireplace, I will admit, that is really wonderful. And a kotatsu, which is a nice heated blanket table that you sit on the floor next to. This is really nice. It better give like a benefit for how warm and cozy it is on top of everything else. And look at all of that food. So you've got a hot pot, you've got onigiri, there's sashimi, there's sushi. So you've got a lot of new foods that Sims can try. I feel like there should be a Simlish foodie aspiration. I know there's kind of one for some of the cooking things, but there just should be like a foodie aspiration where you want to go around and just eat like all of the food and take pictures of all of it. There's one for like the experimental food, but we've had a lot of food since then. We've got some beautiful kimonos. We've got, well, I don't know if those are kimonos. There's a few different types. I don't want to get it wrong, but there's a few different types of garments that you can wear, and I'm happy for you guys to share which is which in the comments section. There is actually in the corner back here a origami crane sculpture, which I find quite fascinating. We've got some vending machines with new items, and actually the vending machine on the left looks like it's not for food. It almost looks like it's for toys or something, which would be really cute, because that is a huge thing in Japan, all the little toys in the itty bitty machines. Let's see, I like the, for some reason that climbing wall is just one of my favorite things, because it's naturalistic and the Sim in like interacting with their environment. So Snowy Escape, expansion pack. And at first I was like, wow, I mean, I like a lot of what I see. I'm not like 100,000% hyped, but I really like it. 100,000% hyped would be if it really it really added a ton of depth to my Sims personality and to their life. And then I was like, wow, actually, I don't think they even showed off like a career just yet, unless it has something to do with being a business person. So what else makes this an expansion pack? And then I found the news. Behold, the official page on the website for Snowy Escape, which comes out November 13th. And I was popping over like, okay, yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's kind of vacation-y. You could live here if you wanted, I suppose. There's some winter sports. But what makes this like expansion pack level? Because even when we had like Sulani and we had Island Living, there were a lot of careers, part-time jobs were introduced. There were a few more elements there. I think there were some new skills, there were a lot of new collectibles, and I didn't really see hints of that when we were here. So let's come on down and I'm going to show you guys the thing that actually has me the most excited about Snowy Escapes, or Snowy Escape, and has me the most curious. All right, we've got Chasing Your Thrills. Definitely got some like rock climbing skill, which seems to be new. Rock climbing skill. See, I feel like you need to get something from that rock climbing skill. You could ski, you could find your zen. My Sims are usually so zenned out they don't even know what a paper cut is. So yeah, I'm actually looking for a little bit more friction for my Sims lives, to be perfectly honest. You could build a beautiful sanctuary. And I was like, that's all nice, but where's my excitement? Where's my ball of like a jittery, oh, could this really be it? Could this add something for me? And it was tucked almost like a footnote at the very, very bottom of the news, my friends, with define your lifestyle. Unlock new personality and relationship effects with the introduction of lifestyles and sentiments. Lifestyles manifest in response to your Sim's actions and habits, changing their behaviors appropriately. Similarly, shared experiences inspire sentiments and have a lasting impact on Sims' relationships with each other, affecting their social interactions. Dun dun dun! That might be it! That might finally be it! Something to make me feel like my Sims have more depth, that they have memories that last longer than that of a goldfish. And that is not to really be offensive to goldfish. They actually have pretty good memories. I am actually the most hyped about this, and here it is, kind of hidden away, tucked as a footnote in all of the news that has come out about Snowy Escape so far. We've got the usual thing of young adults living their best life and being super duper happy. I want to know what happens with these lifestyles and sentiments. What happens? Can you make bad ones? Can you make good ones? Are the modders going to be able to get their hands on this and be able to make it so you can have like a lifestyle where you're a lazy slob and thus your Sims' autonomous habits might really gear towards, I'm gonna call pizza like without asking, and I'm just gonna like leave my clothes on the ground all the time? Or could you make them be super studious and they're going to really start focusing on reading or doing logic things on their own instead of just being generic Sims that will pick the highest call item in the area to take care of their needs? Will they be someone who's always going to go seek to play with the dog because you start training your Sim, hey, play with your dog all the time, and then they'll go for that instead of watching TV or playing chess if they want to get their fun up? I need to know more. I need to know more about lifestyles and sentiments. Will the sentiments make it? So if you turn down that like hangout with your coworkers are going to think you're a snob and you're going to struggle to rebuild your relationship with them. This could be it. This could be it. And yet there is no other information about it. Anywhere on there's another whole page about planning your escape to Snowy Escapes in The Sims 4, and it's all about my Sims just having a great time, living their best life, building it up, but it's not telling me how I can make their life full of more friction. Like, I'm not counting actual skiing friction. You guys know what I mean. So that's my thoughts on Snowy Escapes. It's actually a little complicated. I love some of the items, and I'm sure as I figure out how to fold Snowy Escapes and its new world into my life, it'll be fantastic. I actually love the new world. Let me find the name. There we go. Mount Komoribi. Mount Komoribi. There we go. And Komoribi actually means the color, this is actually my favorite color in the world, the color of leaves when the sunlight is hitting them. And that is legitimately my favorite color in the world. You guys have heard me talk about the emerald of leaves as the sunlight comes through their green selves for years now. I'm hoping that I will love this world. But what I hope most of all is that this world will love me by giving my Sims a little bit more to themselves. So that's my opinion. That's my reaction. Those are my thoughts on Snowy Escape so far. I would love to hear what you guys think, what you're hyped about, what you're excited about. I'm curious about how there's no new careers even mentioned. Maybe we've tapped out on careers for Sims 4. I don't think that's true. I would love to know like what careers you think would be included in this, or like if there should be any new careers. What are your guys' thoughts? I haven't asked you about how you feel about Sims in a long time because I don't want to kick that hornet's nest of the Sims 4 community. But at this point, I hope we can have just a legitimately curious conversation and we can keep some eyes on Snowy Escape and what it might offer. Because I would really love to be able to tell some long, wonderful stories in all of our Sims worlds and leave legacies behind with characters that we'll remember for years to come. So, there's my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you all next time. Stay curious.